It's our baby.
What do you mean? You mean Roger
I
and
delivered
Maggie?
that baby. I'm that baby's godmother, and she's my namesake, practically.
Well, yeah. So, aren't you happy? I mean, you worked your way into the family.
I think I'm jealous. See, I looked and there was this little baby girl. And I thought it would be nice to have this little pink frilly thing looking up at you.
I don't think it's really that little baby girl that's bothering you, is it? I think it's something a little deeper. What is it?
Yes.
Well, I would guess it's Roger.
Wrong. I mean, that's part of the reason, but... just that I'm all alone. I mean, I know you're alone also, and maybe it's just our destiny to be alone, but... Dakota, I'm a good person, and I don't deserve this as a reward.
You're not really serious, are you? After what you've done?
I saved that baby. I delivered that baby in the middle of a storm, and that baby doesn't even have a sniffle. Maggie and I have this intimate and incredible kind of experience. It's like we forged into a cosmic connection. It's almost like we're sisters, and I still feel like I'm alone.
Well, Dee, I've always told you I wouldn't put a whole lot of faith in cosmic connections, okay?
I mean, who knows how these things work anyway? I mean, there are so many mysteries in the universe, like the Shroud of Turin, or lobes and fissures, or gravity. It's like Roger and I are supposed to be together, but we're not. It's like we're on this kind of cosmic detour. No matter what I do to change it, I can't change it, and it doesn't seem to be fair.
Wait a minute. Let's back up for a minute. Now that you've delivered Maggie's baby, you two are, like sisters?
It's incredible, isn't it?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I mean, it's like she trusts me.
Have you told her about the necklace? Because I think if you're going to be close friends now, you better get the truth out.
I didn't tell her the whole story about the necklace. She's had it very rough, and she's traumatized, and I don't want to shock her. But I'm going to tell her the whole story, and I'm going to tell Roger the whole story, too. So what about you? Hmm?
Delia, I was there. I know the whole story.
I'm not talking about that. What's bothering you?
Well, for starters, I just found out that Jill's pregnant.
You could knock me over with a feather. All my ex-husbands are having babies. I mean, if Patty has a baby, it's really going to be a conspiracy.
I don't think you have to worry about Patty having a baby. Of course, he is spending a lot of time with that dear, sweet friend of his called Conchetta.
What did she do?
She and Patty put Melinda through a lot of hell, and I'm having a hard time forgiving them for that. Look, Melinda kept a journal, and I read it. A few days before she died, she wrote how bad she was, how sick she was from the treatments, but no one around her had any idea about that. Well, she was so sick she wanted to end it all. Well, Conchetta came along, and then she allowed that to happen.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is Patty pressured Melinda in this treatment, which was against her better judgment. I mean, look, she was married to the guy. He convinced her that if she took all these drugs, he would have a miracle cure for her. He could make her well. She even got her hopes up. Well, the only thing that happened from those treatments is that girl got miserably sick. Well, she felt Patty betrayed her. She loved this guy. She trusted him, and she killed herself. But she killed herself because Conchetta gave her those drugs that made her heart stop.
You are a sick and demented human being. Everybody, and that includes you, knows that Patty would never, ever do anything to hurt anybody, no less his wife. And he would never let anybody hurt her. Shame on you.
If you want to pull the big sister act on somebody, why don't you go find Roger? It's a little late to start on me.
It's never too late to learn some manners and some respect.
I'll talk to her any damn way I please.
You will? No, you won't.
That's how us trailer parkers talk. She should have heard how old Buddy talk. You tell Jillian about old Buddy?
That's enough.
Yeah, I bet. We don't want to damage that fragile uptown outlook on life now, do we? Everything's pretty rosy in your world, isn't it? Too bad it has nothing to do with reality.
Mama, I'm sorry.
You're really moving on up, aren't you? Fancy house, a butler, wall-to-wall carpeting, crystal and silver, and a weekly trip to the beauty parlor, too, I bet.
I'm a survivor. Whatever I may have now, it hasn't come easy. I've had to fight every inch of the way.
Take the lady out of the trailer park, but you just can't take the trailer park out of the lady.
Now, wait a second. Our mother happens to be a lady, and she deserves to be treated like one. She has left the trailer park behind her. Why don't you try to do the same?
It's not as easy for me to forget. Scrounging in the back of restaurants because there's no food in the kitchen, and she's off with Buddy and all the rest of her beer-guzzling bums.
Now, just a minute. You have a very short memory. I recall that one of those, as you call them, bums, offered you a very good job, but you wouldn't take it. Oh, no, you were too good for it.
No. You knew it wasn't the job. It was the jerk I would have had to work for.
What do you think? Everybody's a jerk? You must have a hard time making friends if you think everyone is a jerk.
If you spend the times I have around the sleazebags of this world, you wouldn't ask that question. But some of us have it handed down to us on a silver platter, don't we?
Oh, really? What do you think, the world owes you some sort of living or something? You know, I heard the same routine from Maggie. It doesn't sound any better coming from you. You've got a gift, a real talent. Why do you make people fight through all this hostility to get through to it?
So, Maggie had problems with you too, huh? It figures.
Yeah, we've had some ups and downs.
And they're just fine now.
She saw through your phony preaching too. Good old Maggie.
Maggie had some problems that she needed to work through. She did that. What's your excuse?
Oh, and I'm sure you had lots of good advice for her too. She has better manners than me, though, so I'm sure she probably put up with it.
I think you could learn a thing or two from your sister.
Don't you lecture me.
I wouldn't dream of it. But you learn to have some respect for our mother.
Hey, you're so fond of each other. You can have her. You can take my share. I haven't had a mother for such a long time. Why start now?
That's not true, and you know it.
No, and while we're at it, let's not waste any energy trying to fake being brother and sister, all right?
That's fine.
Maggie's my family, and that's all I want. And as soon as I see her on her feet again and all right, I'm putting as much distance between me and the rest of you as I can.
Was he always like that?
You got it.